Hello, Western Civilization 105. Welcome to week 4. And so there's a few things I just want to go over, always just to help you, kind of remind you. So first of all, if you are still in the game, if you're watching this announcement as is required, you're already on top of it, or you're doing your best, and you need to pat yourself on the back. It's not easy, these summer courses, especially if you have a lot of stuff going on. Maybe even some other classes or working full-time, family life, so on and so on. So just a few things I want to remind all of you. So again, first of all, I want to let you know, like, you're doing great. Be proud of yourselves. You're working hard. And so take a moment to really reflect on that and kind of feel your power, Now, hopefully, most of your names, but not everybody has read my last announcement. If you clicked on this, but you've been a little behind, make sure you look at all my other previous announcements. Very critical. I've been keeping up, trying to give you guys information, and I mentioned that I'm not even grading your work if you don't read the last announcement. It's very important. So I want you to look at that. Some folks are still giving me essays without citations. I don't understand why I'm still having this conversation right now. That part, okay? Like, you have to, I know this is hard. Get help from me. I'll help you if you're struggling with it. But there's no way out of this. You're going to get a 0 if that's the case. So you have to have the citation. Most of you are doing great with that. And so I want to commend you on transitioning into that part. You'll notice that, yes, there's an exam. It's only, it's not that many points, and you have extra credit options. So, just what I want you to do is to realize, that you can be strategic on what you're doing in terms of the work you turn in. Always contact me if you're struggling. If you have a hard time with an assignment, if you have a hard time keeping up, all of that. Now, one other thing I need to say. If you have been in communication with me about late work, and I give you permission for late work, because we're already halfway through the course, I'm still going to have to put zeros most of the time if you don't have the work in on time. It doesn't mean that you can't just turn in the work and get full points. What I have to do is I need every student, to see where their grade is as it stands. And so that way you can see how much work you really need to put in to catch up to the grade that you are hoping to earn in this class. And at a certain point, I do have a cutoff. I haven't figured out the date, but because I need enough time to grade late work and finals and all that. So as of now, you're still in this grace period, but it's just going to be that I'm just going to run out of time. We're going to run out of time. So please remember that. Oh yeah, another thing to point out. I've said this in some of my other videos, and some students have asked. Canvas is a graveyard of my old assignments. I really do need to figure out how to fix this, where I can erase old assignments without affecting my other assignments. So when you look in the grade book, you're seeing other assignments that I did not assign you. Please do not do those. I'm sorry about that. That is a big distraction. I can see how that gives you anxiety. Just focus on the assignments in each week's module. That's all you need to do, okay? So that's important. And then lastly, I just want to say, content-wise, I ended, we did all the isms, or quite a bit, maybe not all, but quite a bit of the isms. And that essay that's challenging. But I'm hoping you're seeing the value of learning all of those terms in their original context. Now, I covered Zionism, and I hope that you paid attention to the video that I posted, the one that I made. I am going to cover this quite a bit our last week, the Israel-Palestine conflict. Mainly because, at the end of each semester, I look to what is going on within the Western world and see what to prioritize. So for the last year or so, I switched it up and focused on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And that's still an ongoing issue, and that's something I'm still going to cover and talk about. But what is happening with the starvation of the Palestinian population in Gaza, with the settlers doing more violence and taking more land, with being backed by the IDF and the West Bank? These are empirical facts. These are things that you really can't dispute. You can see it on your phone. This is backed by the United States. This is backed by Western powers. Even when many of them are condemning it, the weapons are still going to Israel and being used on the Palestinian population. And there is a divide between the global population's interpretation of what's happening and the way that states are being involved. Now, what's happening is that this is affecting the interpretation of the West's idea of what it means to have human rights, the rule of law, and why one nation can invade and react in one way versus another one. And I understand there's also different points of view that many of you will have on this, and I will cover with some nuance and the idea of what all different sides have thought about this conflict and why where we're at. So I just want to remind you that I was hoping that the idea of nationalism and talking about Zionism will help you start off right away a little better grasping kind of where we need to get into the meat of that and how that work interplays with the Western world when we get to it at the last week before the final, okay? So any other questions on that, feel free to ask me as well. I wish everyone a great rest of your week, and we'll be in touch.